everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. Back with me once again, we have Campo Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, wrestling, everything in between. Go check out his review of Spider-Man's Across the Spider-Verse on his channel, RLG Cast. I will have the link to that description down below, so make sure you go and check that out. Give him a sub, give me a sub, give everybody a sub. Just, throw subs
Hey, did you
around.
see that new intro?
Yeah. What do you think, guys? I have a new intro on my channel, so let me know what you think of the intro on in the comments down below. What could I work on it? So today's review is Impact's Against All Odds. Really quick between two shows. It feels like we just did Under Siege.
And prior to that, Rebellion and the show right before Rebellion were like 2 weeks apart as well.
Yeah. Which one was it? It was Rebellion, and it was no, there was a big jump between Rebellion.
Okay, well, there was two. There was a Windsor one and then something else that was like literally back to back.
Yeah.
Anyways, we digress.
I think only the strong survive. Multiverse and Rebellion were very close. Yeah. But tonight was Against All Odds. Technically, Under Siege was Under Siege a pay-per-view, or that was one of those televised like a Fighter Fest type of?
I don't know. It felt like a pay-per-view.
It was really good, but that much I remember. So tonight at our first match, we had a couple pre-show matches. Kylan King against Nevaeh. They trotted out Nevaeh because she's an Ohio native. They were
squash match.
It was essentially what it was a squash match. Highlighting Kylan King. Taylor Wilde outside shenanigans once again, but I don't mind it when it's Taylor Wilde. She's effective in that situation. You know what I mean? It's not like
it works.
And what I'm happy is the Jungle Juice feud finally over.
Is it?
I don't know. They the night before on Impact's TV show, they lost the title match. Like they had a title.
The less Jungle Juice, the better.
Yeah. So she was not on the show at all. Kylan King goes over in a squash match. It was basically, make Kylan King look strong. Next, we had our Digital Media Championship, a rematch, Joe Henry against Dirty Dango once again. More Dirty Dango is always a good thing.
I didn't think this was a bad match, but I had trouble caring about it because the buildup to it was so dumb.
Yeah.
It was like, you guys were just best friends. The reason for turning doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because to get this match. And like, okay, yeah, the match was good, but it's like,
but then again, it also made Joe Henry look like a bully again. Yeah. With the song teasing him about the being a diva or something like that. Like, it makes Joe Henry look like a bully. If you're trying to push Joe Henry as your white meat baby face, you can't be doing shit like that with his character.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just tired of him at this point.
Yeah, I wish something were to happen, some weird change of fate, and Santino ends up with the belt.
That's okay with me.
Right?
He's been the champion for too long for the type of championship that should be moving.
Yeah, that should be like it's like your TV belt. It should be moving if it's a TV belt. You know what I mean? Give the shine to everybody.
Yeah, and it's not like he's on Samoa Joe / Zack Sabre Jr. run of like being all these epic matches. Like he puts on one good match for like every 5. And it's not that he's bad. I think he's actually a really good wrestler.
The thing is, though, he's a good wrestler, but the thing is, it's the WWE booking. You have 3 matches, right?
And it's starting to get boring.
This is already a second match with Dango. He's had 3 matches with Moose, right? He had, remember that stupid virtual reality match? Yeah, the less we talk about that, the better. And then he also had a series of matches against Brian Myers. So it's like, it's getting like, this should be either Joe Henry squashing people or something for an up and coming talent. Joe Henry can move out of this division right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But it wasn't a bad match. It was just like you said. I had a hard time caring about it.
Yeah, you could have found another route to go with this story, and you could have put Henry and Dango together as a tag team and had them maybe be the ones that take down Bullet Club.
Yeah. If you have, but you got to, like you said, you got to take the other belt off of Henry though, because I'm starting to not believe so much in Joe Henry anymore.
Yeah, I haven't ever, but
with that out of the way, those were your two pre-show matches. We go into our main card, and the first match, opening match, is Frankie Kazarian against Eddie Edwards. Anytime you have Frankie Kazarian in an opening match, you're going to get the crowd hot and you're going to get the crowd into it. Frankie Kazarian, absolute like superstar, been around forever. Only thing is, it's Eddie Edwards. Why do they keep putting, like, he's another one of those guys like Moose. They keep putting him into.
I think it's just to show off his wife at this point.
But then she got kicked out anyway.
Yeah, she did. But I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes the Moore's booking can sometimes be amazing. Like we'll see later on in the show. And sometimes his booking just like boggles the mind.
It's just like, I don't know. I guess you need Frankie Kazarian to do something. And Eddie Edwards is such a fan favorite from like Impact, like faithful fans.
Yeah. And the ROH old school guys.
But that like, put on this match. But like at this point, like it wasn't even a bad match. But like after these 3 matches, I was already like drained.
Yeah.
Like I said, I went to sleep after. I was like,
same here.
I was same like, here. I can't watch anymore.
This is where like the way you should be using Frankie Kazarian is instead of like having like, for example, there was later in the match, Jonathan Gresham, which if he's not going to win, what's the point of putting in the match? Have him against Frankie Kazarian, have him beat Kazarian, like have him put up and coming talent over. So this way it makes the younger talent more believable. You know what I mean?
That's what they should be doing with Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing too. Like have a brand new babyface come in and just like beat Eddie Edwards.
I don't need Eddie Edwards to go into storylines with PCO. I need PCO to put over new people. That's what needs to be happening.
Which we'll see in the next. We'll see later on in the show.
Relying too heavily on the old guard in this company, it's almost WWE-esque that they're like holding on to these guys that are like gonna leave. They're gonna move on soon.
Yeah, and either through retirement or through like.
You need to start putting all these guys are one injury away from retiring.
Yeah, like and like we saw in the last show, that's exactly what they did with PCO. You just got a new champion. PCO just put over that champion huge in that match.
Yeah, and it's like, so at this point, when this match ends, you were 3 matches in, with including the promos and like the highlight reels, whatever. We're at like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and there's only been 3 matches.
Yeah, but luckily the rest of the card moves pretty quickly,
which is awkward because it's like, why did this part go so slowly?
Yeah. But I think after this is for me, the show picked up and it didn't stop from there.
We'll see when we get there.
So, well, there was a little bit for me too, actually. Next we go into your tag match for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. You have ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Bullet Club against the good hands of Jason Hotch and John Skyler with Brian Myers on the outside. This was a typical Ace and Bay match. This was the guys they were up against, like, were not the greatest of talents.
It's an awkward situation because why do the good hands even have a shot?
Yeah.
I know why, because your tag team division is pretty empty.
Yeah.
But it felt like this is what we're doing right now on a pay-per-view. We're having the best tag team you guys have had that are Motor City Machine Guns in like the last 10 years are facing the good hands on a pay-per-view.
I would have rather had the rematch of the last show.
Yeah.
Like if they did the Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster rematch, they say, hey, we came close to beating you last time. Give us another shot. I think we can beat you guys. You know what I mean?
Subculture.
Subculture. That's it. Yeah. And I think that this would have, even though you would put Ace and Bay over, it would have benefited Subculture as a legitimate tag team. You know what I mean? Like that tag team that can come close but can't quite make it over that last hurdle. You know what I mean? So this way, if they ever do win the belts, it means all that much more. You know what I mean? That long-term storytelling. Sometimes they have rematches for the sake of rematches that don't make sense, but here where a rematch would have made sense, they didn't have it.
Yeah, I agree.
But then again,
this match was fine.
Yeah.
But it was unnecessary.
But Ace, gotta say this though, Ace and Bay, they're something special, these two guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when they were solo participants, they didn't really have much, but as a tag team, they really start to shine. And if they continue, they could be one of the, I think I would even maybe say they're the top 3 of current generation tag teams.
So when they became Bullet Club, was it those 2 and the Good Brothers?
Yes.
And that was it? There was just 4 Bullet Club members?
Yeah. And then the Good Brothers went back to join AJ Styles.
Well, they went to Japan first.
Well, yeah, that's true. And then they went to WWE, and then Anderson lost the belt.
That's where she goes.
Yep, that's where she goes. Obviously, Ace and Bay go over. I mean, they're not going to lose to the Good Hands, clearly. And I hope we don't see. Insane. I hope we never see the Good Hands again. Next, we go into the dog collar match. Masha Slamovich against Killer Kelly. Every time Kelly was hit with the chain, she always had like that sadistic smile on her face, and that like drew me in. Like it was
okay. Weirdly enough, though, I expected way more from this match. It was not bad. It was actually a really good match, but like the build up to this was insane, and the match that we got was kind of like
lackluster.
You know what it felt like? CM Punk versus MJF in the dog collar match. Like having the dog collar didn't make this match any better. It wasn't like, what's didn't we watch one recently that was really good, a dog collar match?
Yeah, it was the tag
FTR,
match against the Briscoes.
That was like, whoa, this match is like, you've had this feud. This is an insane feud where you were doing crazy things with weapons to each other. There was staple guns. And
throwing each other off balconies.
You got here, and it was just kind of a normal match, but they had dog collars on.
No color either. I was very surprised there was no bleeding.
They probably got told not to. But it just felt like tame, you know. And I was expecting it to be like at least a table or something.
Like the only one spot that really was kind of crazy was when she kind of threw her over and she kind of started pulling her up to hang her.
She lifted her up.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, good match. I don't want to take away from it.
And these are 2 of my favorite women in Impact. I think 2 of my favorite women's wrestlers right now.
Yeah, period, I would say. And I think their in-ring work was really good. The storytelling was good. I just, there needed to be more here because this is definitely a blow-off.
No, like, I think this is going to continue. Well, no. More? Well, maybe because they shook hands at the end, didn't they? Or something. She licked her fingers or something. She left the ring. Masha Slamovich left the ring. Masha goes over. Masha wins. Let's just get that out of the way. But then she comes back to the ring and she kind of like gives some sign of approval to Killer Kelly, and Kelly smiles and Masha walks away. Could we be getting a tag team?
I hope not. Actually, yeah, why not? Let them win the tag belts.
Let them beat the Coven. Have them in a feud with the Coven. I won't mind that. This way we don't get Jungle Juice in that feud again.
Yeah. And this way they actually have a good women's tag team.
Yeah, and like this way at least you get something on Masha, because like she's had so many opportunities for the women's champion.
It's so funny how that division works. It's like they have a tag team champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they just build a new tag team, like a random tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Put them into a feud with the champions. When either they win or they lose, they just create another new tag team just for that feud, and then that tag team's over. Like none of the women's tag teams stay together. They all just are created for this one specific situation, feud. And then it's over.
Whereas, I don't know, you think Jungle Juice and thing will be splitting up?
I don't think they're going to split up, but I don't think they're going to be used as a tag team. I think they're just going to be like a faction where they'll come out together, but they're going to be singles.
Makes sense. But yeah, I mean, if the feud is not over, I could see them doing like one of the what they call their lockdown matches, where it's a cage match, but then the top lowers and it has all the weapons hanging and stuff like that. That I'd like to see between the 2 of them.
Yeah, I would watch that.
So, but I mean, like I said, Kelly and Slamovich, 2 of my favorite women wrestlers in the world right now, I would say. Or at least in North America.
Slamovich is already on a path to
superstardom.
Honestly, to say that she could be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in the female division.
Yeah, I could see it. She's only what, 23, 24?
But she's done so much in such a short amount of time.
She holds 6 championships right now.
But the way they're building her, like, we didn't like it at first. We were like, forget this shit. She should already be the champion, but I get it now. It's because it's a slow burn where the crowd is slowly just getting more and more and more behind her.
Yeah.
Like the crowd was really loud for her.
Yeah, it really was. And for Kelly too, they really were getting behind.
Yeah, but you could see that that she's supposed to be the bad guy,
yeah,
kind of in this situation.
Yeah, that's true. They're kind of role reversal there, but it was still a good match. I didn't mind it at all. It was, like I said, it was good. Next we go Chris Sabin against Trey Miguel for the Impact X Division Championship. This had me going because of the fact that we were bringing out all former X Division champions' old moves. You had the Ace Austin, Austin Aries last Chancery in there. You had Christopher Daniels, Angel's Wings. You had the Cradle Shock DDT. Like, you have all these former, the Styles Clash.
Clash.
Right. So you have all these former X Division legends, their moves being used in this match. And that's really what got me in, like, kept me invested in this match. Like, what move am I going to see next?
It wasn't as good of a match as the last one.
No.
And it felt long.
Yeah, it was 13 minutes.
It felt longer. However, it was still a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good cap on this story.
Yep. I thought, once again, Sabin, when he got the spray paint to the eyes, I thought, okay, here we go again. Here's the Roman Reigns finish, basically. But no, we didn't get that finish at that point.
When he hit him with the Styles Clash, and then he hit him with the next move, and then the next move, I was like, oh, it's over. It's already over.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy. That was a very happy wrestling moment.
Yeah, it's probably, maybe not, but maybe could be one of the moments of the year.
Yeah, it could be too. I would agree, because maybe what happens at the end.
At the end. This is, what happens at the end. This is Chris Sabin's now 9th reign as
a record holder.
He's a record holder. No, it's no secret that both Sabin and Shelley are getting a little older now. Their careers may not last much longer. Now it makes sense why they took the tag belts off of them.
There's a reason.
There was a reason. And I got to say, like, this is where Scott D'Amore's booking, his long-term storytelling, is at its best.
It's not that I think his booking is not quality. It's that I feel like a lot of the early card matches feel like he just slaps them together for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I said with the women's tag division, right? It's like, oh, we're just going to create a tag team. Like, once Deonna Purrazzo beats whatever her name is,
Trinity,
she's going to get put into a tag team with a random person and get
that's where Monet comes back.
Maybe.
Get Trinity and Monet against Slamovich and Kelly.
I would watch that.
See, there's a reason. So next, after Sabin wins, great feel-good moment there. Sabin, record holder, most championships, most X Division championship reigns. We go into a concept match that I've never seen before, but I like this idea. They called it the 8, 4, and 1. So it starts off as an 8-man tag match. You have 4 and 4. And then the winners of that tag match, as soon as the match is over, go into 4 corners match with one winner, with the World Championship title, #1 contendership on the line. And I really enjoyed this concept. It kept me interested. But the only thing was the first half of the match, the phase 1, they call it, where it was like the 4-on-4 tag match. Clearly, you knew which team was going to lose. When you have a team stacked with Aldis, Bully Ray, and Gresham and Heath on one team, and then you have Bailey, Moose, PCO, and Swan on the other.
Hey, listen, it could not be Moose.
Exactly.
Like, you can't. You have to know more Moose.
So basically, my thought was, okay, so I know which team of 4 is going to win. And then when they go into the 4 corners match, I know which guy on that team is going to take the pin.
Yeah. And you knew which guy is going to get the win most likely too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, it could have gone either way at one point, but let's start off with the 4-on-4 match. This was one of the best 4-on-4 matches I've seen in a while. Gresham and Bailey going against each other. Give me more of that.
PCO put in a lot of good work.
Yeah, PCO did a good job putting some of the other guys over as well. Like, he sold for Bully Ray really well. And that's exactly how you should be using PCO. Putting who you want to go over.
Yeah,
PCO put Gresham over really well.
PCO's a good.
Yeah. But then Moose doesn't put anybody over. He's only in it for himself.
Moose is useless.
Yeah. He's mooseless.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't want any more. Just no more Moose.
No more Moose.
Let him go to WWE.
You know what? Have Moose and Eddie Edwards in an infinite feud that'll never end with no stakes.
Yeah, where their match is always on the pre-show. And I could just not watch the pre-show.
Yes. Have that, please.
And Moose, Sami Callihan in there too.
Yeah.
And
I hope we're done with Sami Callihan. We'll get into that when we get to that. But so this was interesting. I like the concept. Unlike the WWE, what was it they had on the New Year's that countdown match or whatever it was called?
Oh yeah.
Where it's like 25 minutes and it was like an iron challenge or something like that.
I don't know. It was challenging my iron.
It was challenging my will to live. But eventually Jonathan Gresham surprisingly gets the pin for his team, which I thought, oh, could this be finally we're getting that push for Gresham?
No,
we are not. So as soon as that match ends, right away, it's a 4-way match. And they all start they all gang up on Bully Ray, which is the smart thing to do. He's the guy you don't want winning. So when they started teaming up on Bully Ray, I thought maybe Bully Ray might actually have a chance at winning this. I don't want it, but maybe Bully Ray has a chance at winning. But no, they did the Dudley Boys What's Up spot on Bully, and he sold it really, really well too. Like, Bully can sell.
Yeah.
He can sell really well when he wants to. And he's also, like, say what you will about him, he's going to put you over. If you're in a match with Bully, he's going to put you over. Once again, not like Moose. Moose does not put anybody over.
No.
But he did a good job selling. He did a good job of putting over Gresham, and he did a good job of putting over Aldis. Eventually, after a couple near falls where Heath looked like he was going to win, he ends up taking the pin from Aldis. Or not the pin, he tapped out, didn't he?
They lost.
Yeah, I think he tapped out. But yeah, point is, Aldis is now your new #1 contender for the Impact World Championship.
Which it's the right move, but it's an awkward situation now because it's like, does Sabin cash in? But we're not going to finish saying anything.
We're not going to say it. We'll leave that for the end. We'll just go into the next match then, so this way we can talk about the main event when we talk about the main event. We get to the main event: Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity against Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans.
Should have been a pre-show.
Yes, but Giselle is a little underrated.
I agree 100%, but this match is completely irrelevant.
Yeah. This had no stakes.
It's like the women's champion is there. Yes. You have big names there. Yes. You have good wrestlers, but this match doesn't mean anything because what does it have to do with the women's champion?
Yeah. Nothing.
Right? Like, if she loses this match, okay, great. It's a tag match.
Yeah. And the person, her next challenger is her partner anyway. It's like, I think they're maybe trying to tell the story. Oh, can they work together? Can they, you know what I mean? Like,
but they're already like in their promos and like everything. They're like friendly, haha, like buddies. Yeah. So it's like really awkward. Like, the situation doesn't make sense. And now they're going to face each other for the championship. Mm-hmm. God knows how Trinity got a shot at the championship already.
Yeah. See, like, you have such smart ways of booking. Like, you know, a couple weeks ago, you had that challenge where Alex Shelley won at the last pay-per-view. Alex Shelley won the #1 contendership to face Burt Macklin. And now you had another #1 challenge contendership in sorry?
You have to say FBI.
Another brand new, innovative #1 contendership matchup. Whereas the women's division, it's like, oh, here's so-and-so. They got a title opportunity. So
I don't know. Okay, it's fine. But this should not have been
as high. I think this was a buffer match. This, to me, was a buffer match.
I don't need
If
buffer matches in a
if you ask
pay-per-view with this
me,
many matches. I don't need buffer matches. Just
I would
go.
have rather had this and then go straight to the main event and move the OVE match to the top of the card.
Okay, yes, that's fine because both of these matches were not needing to be here.
Yeah, and this I actually enjoyed this match better than the next one.
Oh yeah, for sure. The next match, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and
Probably the
say that
worst match of the
it
night.
sucked.
Yeah, worst match of the night. And it was one of the longest too. That's the problem. But before we do that, let's talk about this match. Like Purrazzo and Trinity worked well together, and clearly we knew they weren't going to lose because you can't have Trinity losing already like this.
It wouldn't make sense for the next following match that's gonna happen. So.
Exactly. So Trinity and Diana had to go over, but it was still a fun match to watch. Not a fan of the other two. I like Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw's good. That Savannah Evans and Vidal Sassoon on the outside there, whatever the person's name was. I don't know who that was, but they were pointless. They did not need to be there. Yeah.
It's just what they're doing.
Yeah. Purrazzo and Trinity go over. So with that, we're going into our second last match of the night. It's OVE, Sami Callihan, Jake Crist, and Madman Fulton against the Design, Diener, Angels, and Khan in an Ohio street fight. After watching the Anarchy in the Arena match and the fantastic hardcore match they had a few weeks ago, this was
this whole
horrible.
event, when you really look at it after and you see like all the people involved, do you realize it was just we're in Ohio, so whoever's from Ohio is going to wrestle, and whoever's from the Midwest is going to wrestle. And that's basically how they chose all the matches.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It was very strange booking. Second longest match on the card. Probably the worst match on the card.
Okay, if we're not counting the pre-show, it's the worst match. I would rather watch Joe Hendry versus
Grim Fandango there.
Dean Malenko,
yeah. But for a match that was supposed to be a street fight, after that brutal match with PCO and Burt Macklin FBI, the Anarchy in the Arena match that we watched a couple weeks ago.
After this watching the mixed match that Impact had at Rebellion with the staple guns and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like this was
tame. There was no color, again, no blood.
Yeah.
Like the thumbtack spot was nowhere near as great as the thumbtack spot I sent you that photo with Jackson with all the thumbtacks on his foot. You did a power bomb on Sami Callihan onto the thumbtacks while he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
What's that going to do?
Nothing felt. There was so much setup.
Yeah.
And all of it was like a drag out. So it was like, oh, we're going to set up all of these tables or these barbed wire things, and we're not going to use it for 15 minutes from now, So it's like, and why did we have to set that up?
And the thing is, too, in a 6-man tag, when all this crap is in the ring, you got nowhere for the guys to move.
Yeah, especially because that's what I'm saying. You had already set up all these spots for later. It's like, why wouldn't you wait to set these up? Because now you have a match where 6 people are trying to avoid knocking these things over so they can use it later.
It made no sense. Not a fan.
I just no more Sami Callihan.
Yeah, they go over. Sami Callihan gets the win. Let's hope this feud is done and we never have to see them again.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, we get to our main event. Alex Shelley against Burt Macklin, FBI. Let's call him Steve Macklin. This was a good match. Alex Shelley made him look good.
It's the best he's ever wrestled. Burt Macklin, FBI.
I would say so. Like he has he's not at I don't think he's still world champion level yet, but I can understand why they want to push him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can we? Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, it's very fair. Hold on, I'm gonna plug in my laptop. You talk about this match.
But Alex Shelley, I was gonna call him Mary Shelley. Alex Shelley had a really great spot. Like he used technical wrestling. He used mat-based wrestling. He tried to keep Macklin from using his power, like his strength, and he was using more of a technical cruiserweight style aspect. And because you could tell that this match meant so much to him because Shelley has never been world champion before. And it was like even the near falls at the end. At some points, I thought, okay, Macklin's going to win with some of the near falls, but in the end, we get Alex Shelley. He's your brand new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. This was a very short run for Macklin. Month and a half.
Let's be honest. This was a transitional champion. He was here just to do this.
Yeah.
They gave him the belt just to make Deonna happy. They had to do the things they were doing with Kushida outside of Impact. So there's a lot of factors here. But also they didn't want to feel like Josh Alexander lost the belt in vain. So they gave him 3 decent matches.
Yeah.
Where he defended, and now it's time to lose, and everyone was happy. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, French Canadian
Frankenstein PCO, yeah.
And
but it's like we were saying off camera. I think this may be one of the feel good moments of the year, top moments of the year, when you see Shelley and Sabin in the ring, each with their belts, and I think, to be honest, Josh Alexander getting hurt was one of the better things to happen for the company, because now you're giving a little shine on people that maybe wouldn't have gotten it before.
Yeah, and
if Josh wasn't hurt, I don't think we would get Alex Shelley as champion.
No, but good. This is good. These are all good things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not that we wish Josh harm. I hope Josh comes back stronger than ever and kicks everybody's ass.
Josh needs to come back, go through the X division, win the belt, and then earn his...
Do the cash in.
Yeah. You can't just come back and go right into the title picture.
Yeah. And what you were saying too on does Chris Sabin cash in? My thought process, Slammiversary is a 3-way match.
Yeah, but this is my thought process. There's no way you brought in Nick Aldis,
this way he doesn't have to take the loss.
Yeah, but he also shouldn't. He should be winning, and it's like, but it's also too soon for Alex Shelley to lose already.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's why you make Slammiversary a 3-way match. Chris Sabin cashes in the X Division Championship. Shelley pins Sabin. So this way, Aldis doesn't have to lose, so he can stay in that feud for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but don't we want Sabin to win the championship?
Yes and no.
Okay, I guess
we could start a good heel run, a Sabin heel run now, which could culminate after Shelley loses a year down the road. Not a year down the road, but eventually Shelley will lose the belt to Aldis, and then a few years down the road, we get that final run of the Motor City Machine Guns, one last round.
I thought this was one last round,
but I don't know. I mean, that's my fantasy brain working.
But that's fine. I agree. That's good.
This way, you can keep the feud with Aldis without keeping Aldis strong by not having him lose.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have 2 feuds right there with Shelley. You can maybe have a series of matches between Shelley and Aldis, where Aldis beats him, and then he can face at, say, Bound for Glory or something.
Yeah. So, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Fine. So with that out of the way, this was a little dip in quality for Impact. They've been putting in some good shows. It wasn't a bad show. It had a few bad spots, but not a bad show. I gave this a 7-2.
I gave it a 7.
Okay, so we're really close on scores again. Same idea. It wasn't a bad show, just a few bad spots. A little hiccup in the road for Impact.
It could have saved itself. It could have had the exact same matches and the exact same card if they just changed the order of the way that the matches were. It might have fixed everything.
Yeah, we could have done without the Kylan King match.
Erase both shows from the pre-show.
Yeah.
And then just move the Deonna Purrazzo match and the OVE match to the pre-show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us, guys. Next week, there are no reviews. There's no shows to watch next week, unless we do watch the Noah show, but we'll keep you posted on that. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. Goodbye and good night.